What is going on, guys? So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how you can learn a backflip on the ground at home in your backyard. I actually learned my backflip right over there, and the way I'm going to be teaching you guys can help you learn a backflip with pretty much no fear. Let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to learn is called the makaku, and you can do this by squatting down and putting your legs out in front of you, putting one arm behind you and having your hips come up like this. You want to make sure that your arm behind you has really good hand placement, otherwise you could hurt your wrist. I like to have my hands facing backwards and outwards. So right here, my hands are pointed, or my fingers are pointed behind me and that way. And that's the placement I like to have my hands, for me not to sprain a wrist or something. Now the makaku is going to be how you get over the fear of doing a backflip, which is probably the hardest part about learning a backflip. Once you get into a comfortable position to do the makaku, try to use your hips and your legs to jump around the arm that's on the ground. So using my legs, I jump around my arm and land on my feet. It might not look like that right away. It's definitely okay for your makaku to be hardly upside down. So like this one right here where I'm pretty much just jumping sideways, or even less than that. As long as you're making progress jumping more and more upside down and backwards as you're getting used to doing the makaku, that's a good sign that you're making progress. I can't stress enough how much you should have a clean makaku before moving on to like any other step in this video, because we're going to keep progressing from the makaku all the way up until a backflip. Now once you have learned that makaku, the second step you want to take is adding some height to it. Squat down. Don't put your hand on the ground, but you could have your arm behind you and go into the makaku from this position. So basically a makaku, but from a different starting position. And here's where you should start putting two hands on the ground, one right after another, starting with the hand that you were doing the makaku with, and then reaching over and placing your other hand on the ground. Doing this will help you take less load off of one hand, help you get more upside down, and prepare you for doing a back handspring. Once you get used to doing that, you could try to go into the makaku from a higher squatting position. Make sure you get really comfortable doing this, because you shouldn't rush to the next step. Now this next part is where it could be useful to learn something called the backwards cartwheel. It's pretty simple, especially if you could already do a cartwheel. And as you can see, it's pretty much a cartwheel from a different starting position. I know I'm not the best at cartwheels, but that's okay. And if you don't know how to do a backwards cartwheel, that's totally fine, because you could just work your way up from doing the makaku. But here's where things start getting really fun, because it's time to learn the back handspring, using that progression all the way from the makaku. And for this part, you could even start taking a step back if it feels natural. Personally, I like taking a step back. But from a standing position, pretty much go into a backwards cartwheel makaku hybrid. This can be done on one hand, but I don't recommend it unless you can do it comfortably. And over time, you just want to make sure that you're getting more and more upside down, and you should see things start slowly looking more and more like a back handspring. Now, I like this method because instead of just forcing yourself to jump backwards into a flip, you can progress at whatever pace you feel comfortable with. See where this is going? You're definitely going to want to try putting both hands down when you're trying this, so you don't put your full body weight onto one arm after jumping onto it. That's probably not a good idea. Now here I'm showing what the progression might look like from going sideways until you're upside down enough to do a back handspring. Now I'm pretty sure when I was learning a backflip, I spent like 2 evenings just spamming this until the fear went away and I was able to do a back handspring. Ooh, easy. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, that wasn't a backflip, that was a back handspring. You're right. But with the back handspring, there's a good chance that the fear of going backwards and upside down has been reduced a lot. So we're going to use that. So you've learned how to go backwards, upside down. The fear has been reduced. Now one last step is getting rid of the arms. This is how. You want to start taking your back handspring and turning it into a back handspring backflip hybrid, and using your hands less and less to the point where you can land on your hands and feet at the same time, then progressing to mainly landing on your feet, and then eventually completely landing on your feet. From there, it's just a matter of time and practice before you clean your backflip up to how you want it to be. So I hope this video helped out. I know there's definitely a lot of things that I know now that I would have liked to know when I was learning a backflip, which was quite a while ago. And I'd say like 98% of the stuff I showed you in this video is how I learned a backflip, and it's how a lot of people I know also learned a backflip, mainly because I taught them. I plan on posting videos on how to improve your backflip, and I also plan on posting more tutorials.